the waiting room. But to start our class and to promote neuroplasticity, I would want you, masanay na kayo. I would want us all to do the following exercise. Okay? Yeah. So just follow, and I hope it will help you focus. You can actually do this every day.
You can improve memory and focus, or maybe how to decrease stress and anxiety. I want to introduce 6 brain exercises to do just that. Exercise 1. The bunny will be chased by a hunter. Your left hand will have bunny ears and your right will have a gun. Exercise 2. Touch the pads of your index fingers and thumb together. Bring them closer and spread them apart again. Challenge yourself and do it faster. Exercise 3. Rub the table up and down using your right hand and hit the table with the fist using your left. Now try it by switching hands. Exercise 4 is one of the hardest exercises of all. On the left hand, touch the pad of the thumb to the index finger, and on the right hand, touch the pinky to your thumb. Each thumb of your hands will follow an opposite direction. Come on, do it faster with me. Exercise 5. Put the pads of your fingers and the thumb together. Then, by alternating each finger, do 5 circles forward and 5 circles back. Are you ready for our last exercise? Let's pretend we're an alien. Spread the middle and ring fingers apart as far as you can. Let's speed it up just a bit.
Parang doon ba kayo na-stress?
Excuse me, Dean. Pa-accept daw po si Faye Garcia.
Okay,
Yes po.
stop ko na, wala na akong, nasa waiting list. Okay, sayang naman. Okay, anyway, you can do that. There are a lot of brain exercises that promotes neuroplasticity. And it wakes you up. Kasi ang hirap niyang gawin, especially with my arthritic hands. Kayo hindi pa, you put it on top of your desk, especially during online class. But I hope it helps you. Anyway, so allow me to share my screen. Purposely, I am not recording this lecture because I will I have a handout that will go with the lecture. So in other words, this is a transcription done by former students. These transcriptions I have already edited and checked. So it clearly represents the with some additional notes on my lecture, both on the basal ganglia and the cerebellum. So I hope you just listen and I will upload my presentation and then you will also have a copy of that transcription, which I cannot give now because otherwise you won't participate. So purposely, I am not recording this. Hindi ko na to idadagdag sa panonoorin nyo. Magbasa naman kayo for neuroplasticity. Okay? So I am mixing all forms of learning. So allow me to share my screen. And this is a relatively short lecture compared to that of the cerebellum. So I hope you you just listen. Oh, wait, that is the concern. Wait, okay. Can you see this presentation? Can you already see the presentation? Class? Kita nyo? Okay. Ah. At the end of this lecture, we are to discuss the basal ganglia system. I already mentioned that it's actually a misnomer because the composition of the basal ganglia system are actually a collection of cell bodies within the central nervous system. And when we say ganglia, it's actually outside the central nervous system. That's why it's better termed as basal nuclei. So at the end of this lecture, you, the learners, will be able to explain the manifestations of patients with movement disorders affecting the basal ganglia based on structure or structures involved, pathways involved, direct and indirect, and the neurotransmitters involved. Okay, let me stop sharing a little again, and I will eventually share my I hope you take a look at this patient and take a look closely.
So, ladies kindly agreed to be involved. We're going to examine her walk, and as you'll see, this is when she's off treatment compared to when she's on treatment. So when she's off treatment, lady has Parkinson's. So the salient features will be evident when she walks towards us. Lady, in your own time, can you walk towards us? As you can see, next, felt hypomania expression. There's a reduction in the arm swing, particularly on the right, but on both sides, really. That's great. And if you could turn around and walk away from us again. Turns tend to take a number of steps more than is usually required. Stride length is quite, doesn't actually at the moment, so she's partially treated. Back, thanks. Is the key thing in it. That's great. Thanks. You can stand there for a moment. And there are no limitations elsewhere. It's pose. Fabulous. And down again. Onto your heels. I've got you. Great. Okay. And I'm just going to examine. You can put your feet apart a little so you don't feel too vulnerable. And you're looking for lead pipe rigidity at the elbow, cogwheel rigidity at the wrist. And Parkinson's, idiopathic Parkinson's, when it starts, is usually asymmetrical at onset. And in Sadie's case, it's more marked on the left hand side. Move your left hand side. So at times, be nice and free, looking for lead pipe and cogwheel. Then you perform exaggerated the Kinnear-Wilson maneuver. So if you don't mind, Sadie, if you can just lift your hand up and down gently now. Be able to bring out a little bit more lead pipe. Stiffer at the certainly much wrist, which is supposed to be the lead pipe tremor that he sometimes has and sometimes does. That's great. Thank you very much. Have you noticed any change in your voice since you were diagnosed? That's hypophonia. Pitch or the loudness of the voice goes down. But swallowing is okay. Everything, is it? And have you ever had any falls due to falls? One of the important red flag signs when you're trying to just Parkinson's, plus syndrome, that autonomic bladder problem, following problem, current fall. Cortical base. But when you take Sinemet, isn't it?
So what do you think is wrong with the patient, given how you see yourself walk, how you see your facial expression? Not unless pareho kayo. What do you think is wrong with the patient? Or is there really something wrong or not? Anyone? Let me see. Let me check on the chart. May rigidity po siya. That's correct. The rigidity is more pronounced on the left. And it was being tested. You know, if you look at you, when you flex your wrist, earlier when you were exercising, it was fast. Ako, I have some form of arthritis. So, there is some rigidity on my fingers. But if you look at the patient, especially on the left, there's rigidity when the doctor was flexing the left wrist. Anything else? Did you see how she turned when she was being asked to turn? Ganun ba kayo pag pinaikot kayo? When you're walking and turning? Anyone? Limited swaying of the arms. Correct. Pag naglalakad kayo, even not deliberately, you know that your hands are swaying, di ba? Your upper extremities are actually swaying. Pero siya, di ba, parang it's like it's quite stiff. Very good. Yes, extra steps to turn. Parang being very, very careful while turning. Very good. Yes, hindi na move yung arms when walking. Very good. So those are very good observations. How about her facial expression? Huh? How about the affect? Did you check on the affect? Ha? Ganun ba kayo makipag-usap? Minsan po, no? Yes. Yes, blank facial expression. Very good. Flat affect. Meron sa iba sa inyo, naturally ganon. Pero, but, well, the patient can move, right? The patient can move. Is that significant? Yes, the patient can move. But the patient has the following. Hindi masyadong makita, hindi nyo nakita yung masyado, the tremors. But there's absence of swaying of the arm. There's very slow movement. There's rigidity. The posture is stooped. And again, the facial expression is flat. But the patient, again, significantly can move. Why is that so? Look, you have already studied this, right? This is, you have studied the corticobulbar tract, the corticospinal tract. These are the motor system. If you take a look at this, they have direct control. The cerebral cortex have direct control on these two systems in these two tracts. And these are the motor tracts. And these two tracts have a direct control on the lower motor neuron. So it means that the cerebral cortex controls the motor tract. And what happens? If this is affected, you have weakness, right? If this is affected, if it the if it's the brachial plexus that's involved, if it's the spinal nerves that's involved, then you have paralysis. But take a look at the basal ganglia and the cerebellum. They do not have direct effects on the lower motor neuron. None. So it means that even without the basal ganglia and cerebellum, the patient can move. But just like what you saw in the patient, there is an effect on the kind of movement that the patient can have or can do. See? Anong nakita ninyo? Nakakalakad siya, yes. But there's no swaying or limited swaying of the arm. And that is the effect of the extrapyramidal system. It means that this system refines the kinds of movement. So, kung sa microscope yan, di ba? Kayong ano, di ba? Di ba may fine, di ba? Nafa-fine tune, di ba? Ang fine tuning is done by the basal ganglia and the cerebellum. Okay? So, like when you lift your arms, you're raising your hand, that's very fast. But if the basal ganglia and the cerebellum are affected, the raising of the hand can be like this. You can be moving or shaking. So there are unnecessary movements if these two are affected. Why? Because look at the control of the basal ganglia and the cerebellum. They do not have a direct control on the lower motor neuron. They have a control through the thalamus of the cerebral cortex. Ayan. So have that principle. So what the basal ganglia and cerebellum, what they do is to actually fine-tune, modulate unnecessary movement. Okay. Again, they're better called as basal nuclei rather than basal ganglia. Kindly turn off or put your microphone to mute. Okay. The mnemonic of the main nuclei, the major nuclei of the basal ganglia are the following. It's CPG. Okay? Caudate nucleus, the putamen, and the globus pallidus. In fact, the globus pallidus, it's very small, but it's divided into globus pallidus externa and globus pallidus interna. May I ask whoever has a turn on microphone to turn it to me? Sensya na, medyo distracting. Okay. And then you have the substantia nigra. I will tell you why it's called such. Because it's really on a fresh state, it's an area that is dark. That's why it's called substantia nigra. And of course, the subthalamic nucleus. It being subthalamic, it will be under the thalamus. Okay? It's very small thing. So if you look at it in a fresh specimen, take a look. I already showed you this cut. And this will certainly be given in the practical exam. Again, these are the ventricles. This is the anterior horn of the lateral ventricle. Okay. And this is the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. And then this is the third ventricle. So if you look at this, in a cut section, the one closest or lateral to the anterior horn of the lateral ventricle is the head of the caudate nucleus. The body you won't be able to see on this cut. Why? Because it is behind the thalamus. So itong malaking ito, here, no, yung malaking yan, this one, this is the thalamus, this one. This is the thalamus. And actually, the body of the caudate nucleus is behind it using this cut. And usually just a spot. If this is the thalamus, that's the tail of the caudate nucleus, and it's not seen on this specimen. It's because this is not a fresh, no longer a fresh specimen. Okay. And then you see this. This is the, excuse me. This is the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. Lateral to it is the thalamus. Lateral to the thalamus is this one. This is the thalamus. Lateral to it is one. This is actually the internal capsule, the posterior limb of the internal capsule. Beside it, ayan. Kung makakita kayo ng dark areas, this large, the most lateral area of gray matter, that is the putamen. Okay? Now, medial to the putamen is this one. This is the globus pallidus. Usually yan, magkadikit sila. So the bigger area is the putamen. Parang may white line na demarcation. That's already the globus pallidus. What is not seen clearly here is what? The distinction of the globus pallidus externa and the globus pallidus interna. Okay, I am dealing with the general principle first. If you see a cut like this, and it's a fresh specimen, you'll be able to distinguish between the globus pallidus externa and the globus pallidus interna. It is very important, this distinction is very important when deciphering the direct and indirect pathway of the basal ganglia system. Now, in a cut like this, will you see your cerebral aqueduct? Yan, in a cross-section. This is the substantia nigra. And it's usually dark. Kaya siya substantia nigra. And, of course, usually just an imaginary area. That is difficult to see, but since this is the thalamus, this small structure there, that is the subthalamic nucleus of Lewis. And they love this in the licensure because this is part of this is not the more common ones, but it's part of the basal nuclei and it can be affected. But the main nuclei are CPG, caudate nucleus, putamen, and globus pallidus. Globus pallidus divided into your globus pallidus externa and globus pallidus interna. See, this is a fresh specimen. Kahit bura-burahin nyo yan, di yan mabubura. This is your substantia nigra. How do you know this is the cerebellum? This is a cross-section. Okay? This is your cerebral aqueduct. Pag may pinasok dyan na stick sa loob nung hole, that is your cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Sylvius. It connects what? The third, di ba? What does it connect? The third and the fourth ventricle. Okay? Now, this is your substantia nigra. Now, very important, especially in the concerns on, I'm sure you have heard patients with Parkinson's disease, is what? That this substantia nigra, this area, contains dopaminergic neurons. And if the impulses would synapse with D1 receptors, it will excite. It will produce excitation. It will produce movement. But if the impulses would synapse with D2 receptors, it will inhibit the movement, which is what this whole system would do. It would inhibit unnecessary movement. In what else? Say, for example, please extend your arm or extend, diba? So, only the extensor muscles should be active. Anong nangyayari dun sa antagonist? Diba? Somebody should tell the antagonist not to move. And that is the work of the basal ganglia system and the cerebellum. Some impulses will have to be sent to the flexor muscles by passing through the thalamus then to the cerebral cortex. Sasabihin ni basal ganglia system through the thalamus kay cerebral cortex. Sabihin mo naman dun pag mag-send ka ng impulses sa flexor muscles not to move. And all of this will happen all at the same time. It doesn't happen slowly. So, you send impulses to move, to extend to the extensor muscles, but you send another group of impulses to the what? To the flexor muscles not to move. So that's why the function of the basal ganglia and that of the cerebellum is to what? Is to modulate the movement. Okay, terminologies first. Look, this is a cut where you see distinctly head of the caudate nucleus. You know that it's connected. See the connection of the head of the caudate to the putamen. And of course, the proximity of the putamen to the globus pallidus externa and the globus pallidus interna. Now, these are areas of white matter, and this is your internal capsule. Anterior limb, posterior limb. And this again is your thalamus. See the proximity of the head of the caudate to your anterior horn of the lateral ventricle, and this is the inferior horn and eventually the third ventricle. Now, of course, use as a nomenclature are these terminologies. When you say corpus striatum, it's a collective term for the major basal nuclei, which is your CPG. Why? Because if you look at this, caudate nucleus plus lentiform nucleus. And when you say lentiform nucleus, it's a collective term for the globus pallidus and the putamen. So GP ang lentiform. Ang corpus, the whole body of the basal nuclear system is actually CPG. And then you call it neostriatum or simply striatum when it's the C and the P. So I just want you to remember the encircled terminology. Corpus striatum, it's CPG. Neostriatum or striatum is just the CP. And lentiform nucleus or nuclei is your GP. Again, This is the function of the basal ganglia. It monitors the progress of movement. It participates in sequencing and automatic execution of learned motor plans. So walking is a learned motor plan. Diba? It's developed from a child, from a baby who cannot walk. So kailangan ma-develop yung brain, ma-develop din yung limbs mabuti. Diba? So that's why there's automatic execution eventually. So what is the principle? Look, I start with the general principle, tapos pathway na. So the basal ganglia or the basal nuclei affects the final common pathway. When you hear the term final common pathway, it means the lower motor neuron. Kailan nagsa-start ang lower motor neuron? Saan nagsisimula? Anyone? Kung pathway yan ng motor tract, pyramidal system, cortico-spinal tract, from the cerebral cortex, Brodmann area 4, up to the spinal cord. Kailan magsisimula ang upper motor at saka matatapos at saan magsisimula ang lower motor neuron? Anyone? Ano,
Sa
roll call
T6 po.
sa T6. So you have a specific area. There's no specific area actually. Anyone? Saan kaya? Miss Joselle? Saan kaya? Where will it begin? What do you think?
Alam ko lang po sa anterior horn po yung lower motor neuron nag-start.
Doon magsa-start. Remember the spinal nerve? Diba? Pag na-form na si spinal nerve, remember your brachial plexus? It is spinal nerve roots, T5, T6, T7, T8, and T1. Diba? From there will come the different cords, etc. And of course, the different nerves. So in other words, when that nerve is formed, that's the beginning of lower motor neuron. Okay? Kapag from the brain up to the area of the spinal cord, kung saan lang siya mag-e-end, wala pa tayo sa final common pathway. Wala pa tayo sa upper motor neuron pa rin yun. Pag lower motor neuron na, kaya naisip nyo, kung hanggang bago sa maging spinal nerve, hindi pa siya. Lower motor. Bago doon. So, that's upper motor neuron pa rin. So, when you distinguish, kaya if it's upper motor neuron, the effect is weakness. But if it's lower motor, hindi mo siya magagalaw. It's paralysis. But the effect of the basal ganglia and the basal nuclei on the lower motor neuron is indirect. Why? Because remember, the first picture I showed you, diba? Cerebral cortex naman ang may direct effect. Si basal ganglia, dadaan pa siya kay thalamus bago niya makausap si cerebral cortex. So may mediator siya. Okay. Now, take note. The basal ganglia effects are contralateral to the side of the lesion. Remember your motor tract and your sensory tract? Diba? Kung hindi pa nagko-cross sila, diba? So, say for example, the left Brodmann area 4, we are talking about the motor tract. Left Brodmann area 4 is affected. Nasaan ang manifestation sa body? Right or left? Anyone? Left Brodmann area 4, left side sa brain. Anong manifestation sa body? Right or left? We're talking about motor tract. Yung corticospinal tract. Anyone? You can put it
Sa
on the
right
chat.
po.
Very good. It will be on the right kasi contralateral. Nag-cross na yon. It's a cross tract. The corticospinal tract or the pyramidal tract. which was supposedly discussed by Dr. Jesmond, for your motor system is a cross-track. So kung nasa brain yung problem, di ba, left side of the brain, nasa right side of the body yung manifestation. In the same manner, say for example, the left caudate nucleus is affected. Look at the principle. It's contralateral to the side of the lesion. Nasaan yung makikita yung tremor? Nasa left or nasa right? Left caudate
Sa right.
nucleus. Very good. So if you will look, you will see tremors, you will see rigidity, it's more on the right because the system is contralateral. Is that clear? Bakit? Okay. Bakit din? Remember, the system that it tries to modulate is a cross-track. Diba? But that is not true with regards to the cerebellum. Huh? So, why? Because when it's the cerebellum or any of its parts, it's ipsilateral to the lesion. Okay? Ang basal nuclei, motor tract, even the major sensory tract, the effect is contralateral. The effect on the body is contralateral. Okay. Now, please take note, since it doesn't have a direct effect on the lower motor neuron lesion, the strength of the muscle is not a problem. But the problem is the emergence of involuntary movement. So yun yung concern. Meron mga galaw na hindi fine. Or merong unnecessary na galaw or movement. Okay? So this is the influence. So that's why, see, there is an effect on the posture. That's why with our patient, he has stoop posture. Look, it has an effect on automatic movement. Kaya nawala yung swinging of the arms. Okay? And it has an effect on cognition. For those of you with relatives or have known patients with Parkinson's disease, you'd realize that they have forgotten a lot of the recent memory. Pero yung remote, naaalala pa nila. Because it has an effect on cognition. Okay. Please listen to this because after this, we will decipher already that the pathway. Okay. Note, all of them, the CPG, first, all the nuclei, this one first, sorry. First principle, the control of the basal nuclei to the motor cortex is indirect. It is via the thalamus. It is something that you saw, right? So what will happen? If you excite the thalamus, it will excite the motor cortex. So pag in-excite si motor cortex, magmo-move ba o hindi magmo-move? Anyone?
Magmo-move.
Magmo-move kasi in-excite mo nga si motor cortex. You inhibit, nagpadala ka ng inhibitory impulses sa thalamus, it will inhibit the motor cortex. Okay? So, walang movement. Tama ba? Kasi in-inhibit mo si motor cortex. Is that understood? Yes. Okay. All the nuclei of the basal ganglia system are inhibitory. So, ibig sabihin, yung impulses na manggagaling sa any basal nuclei, which are CPG, caudate nucleus, putamen, globus pallidus interna and externa, dapat mag-inhibit siya ng movement. Okay. Is that clear? Lahat inhibitory yung lalabas sa kanya na impulses. Walang excitatory. Okay. Now, take note of this principle. In-excite mo ang inhibitory nuclei. You excited an inhibitory nuclei. What are examples of inhibitory nuclei? Anyone? Example. All the basal nuclei are inhibitory, which are, you can unmute. Lahat eh. So it means that what? What are inhibitory nuclei? What comprises the basal nuclear system? Thea,
Doc, is it GABA po ba?
no, I'm asking about the nuclei. What are the basal nuclei that I named? Ano yun? Yes, John.
Doc, CPG po.
Yes. Yes. So it means that all these nuclei, CpG, caudate, putamen, globus pallidus externa, globus pallidus interna, are what? Are inhibitory. So see, you excited the caudate nucleus, which is an inhibitory nuclei. Diba? So ibig sabihin, in-excite mo siya. You excited that nuclei. What will it produce? Will you increase its inhibition or decrease? As shown in the slide, it will increase inhibition. Kasi inhibitory na siya to start with. Kailangan maintindihan nyo itong principle before the main track. Ulitin ko, lahat ng basal ganglia nuclei are inhibitory. So to start with, they inhibit. Okay? And they produce inhibitory impulses. So when you excite them, you will increase their inhibitory capacity. Alright. Now, take note of this principle. But when you send inhibitory impulses to these inhibitory nuclei, say, nagpadala ako, itong isang nuclei, nagpadala. Si motor cortex, nagpadala ng inhibitory impulses kay caudate nucleus. Anong mangyayari? Baliktad. Tatanggalin niya eh. Kasi when you inhibit an already inhibitory nuclei, you actually disinhibit it. You remove its inhibition, so you decrease its inhibition. In effect, that nuclei will send excitatory impulses to the next. Kasi tinanggalan mo siya ng inhibition. So ang gagawin niya, hindi inhibitory impulses ang ipapadala niya sa next, but it will send excitatory. Is this clear? This is the source of confusion on the pathway. When you simply look at it, the plus and the minus. Is this clear or do I need to repeat it? Is this understood to everyone before we decipher the pathway? Or would you like me to repeat? Okay na? Okay with everyone, ha? Alright, sige. Feel free to tell me to repeat the principle if you are confused or trying to understand pa. Next, all impulses from the motor cortex are excitatory to the striatum. What again is the striatum? What nuclei comprises the striatum? Anyone? It's also called neostriatum. Anyone? Para mas madaling tandaan, ano ang striatum? CP. Corpus striatum yung CPG. Lentiform nucleus, general patron. Okay? GP. Or general practitioner. Okay? So, yung striatum, it's composed of, it's a collective term for the caudate nucleus and the putamen. So, the motor cortex will always send or will always excite the striatum. Okay? So, we are clear on this, ha? No questions. So, let's now decipher the pathway. My request to you is not to look at the plus and the minus sign. Otherwise, it will be confusing. Why? This is the individual action of this to this. But to decipher the pathway is a different story. Okay? So don't look at the plus and the minus muna. Huh? Okay. What will the motor cortex do to the striatum? This is the striatum, CP, caudate nucleus, and the putamen. The general principle is that impulses from the motor cortex will always excite the striatum. So the motor cortex will send excitatory impulses to the striatum. Let me now ask you, the caudate nucleus and the putamen, what are these nuclei? Are they inhibitory nuclei or are they excitatory nuclei? Anyone? James?
Inhibitory po.
Okay. Yes, Faye, very good. Sumagot naman si James. Nahuli lang mag-unmute. That the striatum is made up of inhibitory nuclei. Okay. So, in-excite ni motor cortex si striatum, which are inhibitory nuclei. When you excite an inhibitory nuclei, what happens? Do you increase the inhibition or you decrease the inhibition? What?
Increase the inhibition.
Increase.
Yes, you increase the inhibition. So that, look, we are first on the direct pathway, not the indirect. So ito yung direct pathway. So you excite the striatum, you excite the caudate nucleus and the putamen. They are inhibitory nuclei, so they will release. You increase the inhibition. They will send inhibitory impulses to the next nuclei that they will synapse with, which is your globus pallidus interna. Now, you send an inhibitory impulse to an already inhibitory nuclei. Di ba inhibitory si GPI eh. What happens? When you inhibit an inhibitory nuclei, what happens? Say,
Decrease inhibition po.
very good. That is disinhibition. So you remove the inhibiting capacity of the globus pallidus interna. What will happen? It will not send inhibitory impulses. What kind of impulses will it send? Kasi tinanggal mo. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, wag yung tignan yung plus minus. Oh. What kind of impulses will it send? Because you remove.
Excitatory.
Very good. You send excitatory impulses to the thalamus. When you excite the thalamus, what will happen to the motor cortex, to the impulses that it will send to the motor cortex? In-excite mo si thalamus. O, ano yung principle na una? Exciting the
Excite the
thalamus.
motor.
Yes, you excite the motor cortex. And the motor cortex will tell that area, gumalaw ka. So kung kanina yan na example ko, when you extend your arm, di ba? What will happen? Sasabihin ng motor pathway, kailangan i-extend ang extensor muscles of the arm and the forearm. Okay. Magpapadali rin siya, same signal, ng basal ganglia system. So, ang pupunta na magmo-modulate ng movement ng extension is what? Direct pathway. Kailangan gumalaw si extensor eh. Pero kailangan ding sabihan yung hindi gagalaw. Yung flexor. So, anong pathway naman yun? That will be the indirect pathway. The indirect pathway is the no-go pathway. No-go to movement. Direct pathway is go movement. Did you understand the direct pathway? Diba? Kaya ako sinasabi sa inyo, please do not look at the plus and the minus sign. Otherwise, it will be very confusing. Now you know why I started with the general principle. Sige, indirect pathway naman tayo. Look, motor cortex send excitatory impulses to the striatum. The striatum, which is made up of the caudate nucleus and the putamen. And these are inhibitory nuclei. Exciting an inhibitory nuclei will increase the inhibition. So the striatum will send inhibitory impulses to what this time? To the GPE, the globus pallidus externa. Look, you send inhibitory impulses to an already inhibitory nuclei. What will happen? What will happen?
Decrease excitation.
You will decrease the inhibition, then it will be excited. Sinorkat natin. Okay. Then it will produce excitation, right? Kasi tinanggal mo, dinis-inhibit mo. Kaya tinanggal mo yung inhibition niya as a nuclei. So it will send excitatory impulses. Look at the arrow. To what? To the next nuclei, which is your globus pallidus interna. But your globus pallidus interna is an inhibitory nuclei. Exciting an inhibitory nuclei. What will happen?
Increase. Ay,
Tama. Go. Roylin, it will increase what? It will increase the inhibition, right? You excite an inhibitory nuclei, you increase the inhibition. So ano mangyayari? It will send inhibitory impulses to the thalamus. When you inhibit the thalamus, what will happen to the signals that the thalamus will send to the motor cortex? When you send in, yes, the thalamus will send inhibitory impulses to the motor cortex to say, no movement, don't move. So sabay, di ba? Si basal ganglia, sinasabihan niya. Yung extensor muscles, sige, aayusin ko yung pag-extend mo. Kasi yun yung gustong movement ni motor tract. Pero sinasabihan din ni basal ganglia system, uy, flexor muscle, huwag kang gagalaw. Through what? Through the indirect pathway. I hope that is understood. Is that clear? Yes? Do you have any questions? Oh, may heart na ako. Salamat. Okay. Now, look, yung indirect pathway, minsan may sideline. Oh, sending, excite, si inhibitory, yung striatum. Striatum will send inhibitory impulses to the GPE. When you inhibit an already inhibitory nuclei, it will excite the next one, right? So you excite the subthalamic nucleus. The subthalamic nucleus, lagi yan excitatory to the GPI. You excite an inhibitory nuclei, it will produce inhibitory impulses going to the next, which is the thalamus. Inhibiting the thalamus will send inhibitory impulses to the motor cortex. Then it's a no movement still. Sideline lang talaga ito. Pero si subthalamic nucleus will always excite the GPI. And the GPI is always what? Excitator, is an inhibitory nuclei. So, exciting an inhibitory nuclei, the inhibitory impulse. Is that clear? Yes? Minsan, naliligaw. Nagpapadala rin ng impulses na substantia nigra ang striatum. Paano naman yun, Dok? Di ba, pag nag-bind yung impulses sa D1 receptor, direct pathway siya susunod. Pag nag-bind sa D2 receptor, indirect pathway siya susunod. So that's it. That's the basal ganglia pathway. Finish. Do you have any question? That's why I started with the general principle. This is the one in most of the books. Is it easy to understand? Kaya ako sinasabi sa inyo, wag yung tignan yung positive, negative. But if it's in general, look, since they are inhibitory nuclei, like what you mentioned earlier, what one of you mentioned earlier, it will produce the neurotransmitter, each of them, since they are inhibitory, they will produce the neurotransmitter GABA. Okay? And the one that excites, look, they will produce the neurotransmitter glutamate. Okay? So if you will make a guess, basta yan, magpapa-excite, glutamate, pag mag-i-inhibit GABA ang neurotransmitter. Okay? That's why I'm not using this figure from Mantor and Gat. So this is your substantia nigra. And again, it receives inputs from the motor cortex. So D1 move, direct pathway, D2 indirect pathway. So let's try to decipher these questions and check whether this is true or false. Excitation of the putamen, which is part of the striatum, will lead to increased inhibition of the globus pallidus interna. Ano ba naman yan? Si Dean? O excitation of this one will lead to increased inhibition of the globus pallidus interna. True or false? Na-excite, ine-excite mo ba to? Na-i-increase mo ba yung inhibition nito from here to here? Ha? Anyone, is that true or false? Do you increase the inhibition of GPI when you excite this? So it means that this one will send inhibitory impulses to an already inhibitory nuclei. True or false? Increase ba ang inhibition o decrease? Nakakita na ako ng sagot. Ang sagot, true. Ang daming true. Did you increase the inhibition? O, tignan natin ha. Pag in-excite mo to, just like this, in-excite mo to, anong impulses ang manggagaling sa kanya? Diba? You increase the inhibition already of this one. O, edi inhibitory impulses yung pupunta kay GPI. Inhibiting an already inhibitory nuclei. Do you increase the inhibition or you decrease the inhibition?
Decrease po.
Decrease. Kaya ang sagot ay yes. Ang sinagot sa akin, decrease. O ayan, tama. O ang sagot ba, true pa din o false? Increase inhibition or decrease? O, ang sagot na ay false. Yes. Very good. See? That's why I started with the general principle because it can be confused. Next. Okay lang, ngayon kayo malito. Basta sa exam at quiz, hindi na kayo malilito. Okay, next. The subthalamic nucleus is always excitatory to the globus pallidus interna. I said that.
True.
Very good. True. Lagi. Excite lang siya. Wala yung inhibitory impulse. Oh. All basal nuclei release the neurotransmitter GABA. True or false? Lahat sila ay
Inhibitory.
very good. If they are all inhibitory, what neurotransmitter will they secrete? GABA.
GABA.
Yes, very good. That's why this is 2. Okay? All. Huwag nyo na kasi titignan nyo pa yung drawing eh. O sige, balik natin. Oh, di ba GABA? GABA. O, mababagabag kayo niyan eh. O, di ba? Oh, sinabi na nga GABA. Basta, lahat ng inhibitory nuclei, CPG. Oh, wala nang question. Oh, di ba? Okay. Oh, when dopamine binds to D2 receptors in the substantia nigra, oh, the striatum, this inhibits the globus pallidus interna. This inhibits ba? Look, dito daw. Alam nyo, kitang-kita na dito yung sagot. Look. Balik tayo ha. Kailan to nadidisinhibit? Sa anong pathway? Sige na nga, bibigyan ko shortcut. Disinhibit meaning disinhibition, di ba? It means that nadi-decrease yung inhibition. Anong pathway to nadi-decrease ang inhibition? Direct or indirect? Tingnan nyo. O, sending,
Indirect.
ala, parang mali na yata ang tinuro ko. Look,
Internus po. Globus pa. Para daw internus po.
ulit, oo. Yun yung question eh. Ulit. Sige. Game. Oh. When do you inhibit this? Diba? You send inhibitory impulses from here. Kasi in-excite si striatum. Tapos, anong nangyari? Inhibiting an already inhibitory nuclei. That is disinhibition. Diba? Anong pathway ito? Direct.
Direct po.
Oh, ito, si globus pallidus externa. O, inhibit. Ito ang nadi-disinhibit mo, si externa. Pero anong pinapadala mo kay interna? Excitatory to. Diba? So, ang mangyayari, ito, na-excite mo siya. Hindi mo siya nadi-disinhibit. Tama ba ako? Sa indirect pathway. Correct? So, ang tanong ko sa inyo, saan nadi-disinhibit si GPI? O, nai-inhibit mo siya sa what? Sa direct pathway. Eh, si D2 receptor, anong pathway dapat?
Sa indirect po.
Very good. D1 receptor stimulates the direct pathway. Yun yung shortcut. D2 receptor, indirect. This is a combination of direct and indirect pathway. Kaya false. Diba? Itong statement, the striatum disinhibits the globus pallidus interna, is what? Is for the direct pathway. Kaya pag titignan nyo yung stem itself, mali na siya. Is that clear? Diba? Di naman eh, ang hirap naman ng question. Eh, dito na nga tayo maghirap. Okay. Para at least alam nyo na yung sagot. Okay? So, in other words, when you decipher questions like this, you should have the illustration in mind. Okay? Not the plus and the minus sign. So, yun yung pakiusap ko sa inyo. Kasi kung ang gagawin nyo, ay hindi, pupunta siya doon, magpa-plus siya. Why? Why am I asking you that? Kasi ito yung action nito dito. Individual yan, hindi yung buong path. Okay? So please do not do that. So you start with the basic principle. So this is it, no? This is the area that's affected in cases of Parkinson's disease. That's why if you ask patients with Parkinson's, they are given dopamine. And of course, if an autopsy is done after a patient with Parkinson's disease passed on, ito yung nakikita. Nawawala yung color, the distinct color of the substantia nigra. And what do you call the bodies here? They are called Lewy bodies. Yan. Yung mga bodies na dopamine containing. Okay? These are my references for the basal ganglia lecture. Okay? Now you know why I always start with the general principle. Okay? Before talking about the whole pathway. Because I am hoping that you'll find it easy. Okay? So, I am giving you and myself a break of 30 minutes to digest. Balik tayo ng 2:30 para I will, para ano rin, digital rest. Okay? Gusto niyo ba papasok pa kayo o hindi na? Aalis lang kayo dyan. Papasok ba kayo ulit or do I leave this or wag na? For 30 minutes, ano yun?
Mag-off
Okay.
cam na po kami din
Oh,
para
yes. Mag-off cam tayong lahat and then 30 minutes. So we'll start 2:40. Okay? Matatapos tayo niyan sa cerebellum. Kasi pag hindi nyo na kaya, I will stop. Okay. I will just uh, facilitate what you should understand and just talk about the major part. Okay? Rest. Rest your eyes. Pero magising kayo ha. Baka pag nag-nap kayo, wala na. Nasa na kaya kayo? Alright, God bless. See you.